Jeff Bezos wasn't born rich. He grew up far from privilege, spending his early years on a ranch learning skills that would one day shape his future. So how did this boy rise to become one of the world's richest men? His story will inspire you, and the lessons at the end are ones you can't afford to miss. Success leaves clues, and at Scratch to Fortunes, we reveal them. Hit the subscribe button to join us. Bezos' story begins in Albuquerque, New Mexico, born to teenage parents Jacqueline Gies and Ted Jorgensen. When Jeff was 4, his mother married Mike Bezos, a Cuban immigrant. Not long after the wedding, Mike adopted 4-year-old Jeff, legally changing his surname from Jorgensen to Bezos. Soon after, Jacqueline, Mike, and young Jeff moved away and asked Ted to end contact, a request he accepted. Each year Jeff spent his summers at his grandfather's ranch in Texas. It was there, through long, demanding days, that he came to understand the true meaning of hard work and self-reliance. He learned to fix windmills, vaccinate cattle, and solve problems with his own hands. Even as a child, Jeff showed remarkable curiosity, building contraptions in his garage. His intellectual curiosity and academic brilliance were undeniable, earning him a coveted spot at Princeton University. Initially drawn to theoretical physics, Bezos soon realized his true passion lay in the burgeoning world of computers. He pivoted, graduating summa cum laude with a degree in electrical engineering and computer science. This wasn't just a change in major, it was a prescient bet on the future. While his peers focused on established fields, Bezos was immersing himself in the digital architecture that would soon underpin the global economy, learning the very language of the coming revolution. After graduation, he was recruited by D.E. Shaw, a different breed of Wall Street hedge fund that valued scientific minds over slick traders. It was a place where quantitative analysis and technological innovation were paramount. Here, surrounded by brilliant physicists and computer scientists, Bezos thrived. His talent was immediately apparent, and he climbed the corporate ladder with astonishing speed, becoming the firm's youngest ever senior vice president. He was entrusted with a unique task: to explore the uncharted territory of the internet for new investment opportunities. It was during this research that he stumbled upon a single, electrifying piece of data. Usage of the World Wide Web was growing at an annual rate of 2,300%. To most, it was just a number. To Bezos, it was a revelation. This wasn't a niche market or a passing fad. This was a force of nature, a tidal wave of change that was about to reshape commerce and culture. The number haunted him, sparking a frantic brainstorming session for products to sell online. But could he walk away from a secure 7-figure career for a wild gamble? To make the decision, he invented what he called the regret minimization framework. He projected himself forward to age 80 and asked, "Will I regret trying and failing, or will I regret never trying at all?" The answer was crystal clear. The pain of not participating in this revolution would be unbearable. The security of Wall Street suddenly felt like a golden cage. The decision was made. He would leave his job and drive west to chase the tidal wave. He presented his online bookstore idea to his boss, who advised him it would be better for someone who didn't already have a good job. Using his regret minimization framework, he projected himself to age 80 and asked, "Would I regret not trying?" The answer was clear. He resigned from his powerful position to chase an unproven dream. Jeff and his wife Mackenzie packed their belongings and drove west to Seattle. Seattle offered a pool of talented developers and proximity to book distribution centers. It all began in 1994, not in a gleaming high-rise, but in the humble confines of a Bellevue, Washington garage. This was the birthplace of what was initially called Cadabra, a name quickly changed after a lawyer misheard it as cadaver. The new name, Amazon, was chosen to suggest scale. Inside, the ethos of frugality was literally built into the furniture. The first desks were famously constructed from cheap wooden doors, a constant physical reminder to invest money only in things that truly mattered to customers. This wasn't just a cost-saving measure, it was the seed of a corporate culture obsessed with efficiency. The early days were a relentless grind. Jeff Bezos, along with his then-wife Mackenzie and a handful of employees, worked grueling hours. They weren't just coding a revolutionary website, they were on their hands and knees on the concrete floor, packing books into boxes and personally driving the packages to the post office. To mark their progress, they installed a bell that would ring with every single order. In the beginning, each chime was a moment of triumph, but soon, the rings became a constant, chaotic symphony of success. It got so loud they had to turn it off, a telling sign of the explosive growth they had unleashed. This growth was by design. Bezos's vision was never just about books. He methodically expanded, adding music, videos, and electronics, marching relentlessly toward his goal of creating the everything store. One of his most audacious moves was launching Amazon Marketplace, allowing third-party sellers to list products right alongside Amazon's own. Many insiders thought he was insane, inviting competition into their house. But Bezos argued that if it provided more choice for the customer, it was the right thing to do. This conviction was tested like never before during the dot-com crash. As analysts labeled the company, quote, Amazon.bomb, quote, its stock price plummeted. Yet, Bezos never wavered, telling everyone to ignore the daily stock fluctuations and focus on building long-term value, a testament to his unshakable vision. Bezos built Amazon around customer obsession, famously leaving an empty chair in meetings to represent the customer. He understood that innovation requires experimentation and the willingness to fail. His long-term thinking allowed Amazon to build competitive advantages that are now almost impossible to cross. The door desks symbolized a culture of frugality. Constraints breed resourcefulness and self-sufficiency. Jeff Bezos' journey from a garage to a global empire shows what's possible when passion meets persistence. It began not in a boardroom, but on the open road, with a business plan drafted during a cross-country drive, a leap of faith. His story proves that every colossal success has a small starting point, fueled by a powerful vision. The lessons from his ascent are a universal blueprint for anyone with ambition. The first lesson is a relentless focus on the customer. Bezos famously left an empty chair in early meetings to represent them, the most important person in the room. This wasn't a gimmick, it was a cultural cornerstone that put the customer at the center of every single decision. This single-minded dedication is the bedrock of creating lasting value and building something people truly want. Next, embrace calculated risks and think long-term. Bezos walked away from a lucrative job using his regret minimization framework, knowing he'd regret not trying more than failing. He combined this with his day one philosophy, reinvesting profits for future growth instead of chasing short-term gains. This potent combination of bold action and patient vision builds durable companies that outlast fleeting trends. Finally, be relentlessly resourceful. The legendary door desk was a symbol. Invest in what matters to customers, not superficial perks. It's about turning limitations into an advantage. Your own garage, your own door desk is waiting. It's a metaphor for your unique starting point. The next great success story is out there, waiting to be written by someone who dares to begin. If this story sparked an idea or fueled your ambition, help us share that inspiration by liking and sharing this video. The journey from scratch to fortune is never easy, but it is always possible. Subscribe to Scratch to Fortunes so you don't miss our next deep dive into the stories of those who built empires from the ground up.